winning gold, she realized that like winning gold was not enough to
Yeah.
make her feel good about herself when she was in the closet. And I think that that's kind of like sums it all up.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Duke's Download. And I just wanted to say, first of all, Connor, thank you so much for being here. You are incredible. And obviously, at such an important moment in your career and in your life, I'm so grateful. For those of you who aren't familiar with Connor, Connor is an elite speed skater, Olympian, and trailblazer who's been unapologetically himself in a sport that hasn't always made room for queerness. And from the ice to identity, Connor has pushed past limits, both physical and cultural, while redefining what visibility, resilience, and excellence looks like. We're talking competition, confidence, pressure, and what it really means to show up fully as yourself. He's coming to us from Milan and getting ready for the Olympics that start Friday. Connor, welcome to Duke's Download. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I can only imagine what the last few days, weeks have been like. What's it like? Like, I can only imagine what being at the fucking Olympics. I mean, it's mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just getting started. So don't fully know what it's gonna hold, but it's already been like a dream come true. I mean, going through team processing like 2 days ago um, was like exactly how I had imagined it for like years now.
Yeah,
So it's been an incredible experience.
I've always thought about the fact that the anticipation. I mean, we're talking years, decades of dreaming and working and anticipating and visualizing, uh, and to finally be there. I mean, how many years have you been not just skating, but like sort of pursuing the Olympics as a possibility?
That's a good question. I wasn't one of those kids that like started the sport. It was immediately like I'm gonna go to the Olympics. That was not really. I don't know. Like it was something that was like said a lot, but it was not something like I really internalized as like a little kid.
Yeah.
So I would say it wasn't really until like 26. It's been about a decade that I've been like
Right.
really, really thinking about it and being like, okay, this actually could be a possibility if I keep
Mhm.
working hard and uh, doing everything I got to do to get there.
How old were you when you started skating?
I started skating like on hockey skates when I was like 2 years old. I started speed skating around 10 ish.
Wow. You're if you don't mind me, you're 27 now, right? 26?
Yes,
So
27.
you're like, it's been 20 years
Yeah.
basically, and to now be here. I mean, it's just insane. And I was amongst all the research I was doing about you. Um, you actually won the 1,000-meter race. So actually, I mean, you're in a prime position to win potentially here. Not to jinx it, but like you're in a strong position. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way the trajectory I've been on for the latter half of this year for sure. Um, win, I'd be like,
Sorry,
I
I
mean,
know I
I'm
probably
gonna
shouldn't
try
have
to
said
win,
that.
but
I don't wanna be I know, you know, I don't
there's
wanna
some
jinx
stiff
it.
competition for sure. But I do love the trajectory that I have been on for the latter half of this year. Um, some of my highest finishes ever. Consistently top 10. I just finished the World
Mhm.
Cups last weekend, ninth overall for the whole
Wow.
season. Yeah, and like I started the season off like a little bit lower than that. I think I started the season off like kind of a couple 12th place finishes and something like that, so out of
Not
the top
bad.
10, but picked it up as the season went on.
And so, the way I discovered you was, you don't live in LA, do you? You come here occasionally. You were here for, like, an out sports event or for an Olympic event?
Yeah, I was there for an out athlete fund event.
Right. Right.
Yeah, which is a new nonprofit that's like supporting queer athletes in
Right.
Olympic sport.
But and you were actually supposed to be at the 2022 Olympics, right? And
I
then
mean,
you got
I would say supposed to be because
it wasn't meant to
you're not
be,
there
right.
unless I guess, yeah, it wasn't meant to be. But I definitely had high hopes being at the 2022 Olympics, and I was on a pretty good trajectory to get there
Well,
until I got Norovirus, and that got a little bit derailed.
I mean, not to go down that rabbit hole, but I will say, like, that's part of it for me, why I admire you and athletes, like you so much, is that you're working towards literally a, what, week-long period every 4 years? I mean, it's the amount of discipline and self-focus that takes, and self-discipline. I can only imagine, like, where do you think that ability comes from, where you're able to, like, zero in and say, like, "I've got a 4-year lead-up time to, like, really devote basically my entire life to this dream and this ambition."
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I feel like I've always been a very like type A person.
Mhm.
So I feel like if I want to do something, I am willing to just like put my nose to the grindstone and
Mhm.
get it done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, especially after 2022, committing to 4 more years was a very daunting task.
No.
And I feel like in general, it helps you just like take everything 1 year at a time.
I know it's not like it's just the Olympics. Obviously, you've got the World Cup, you've got tons of competitions in between, so
Mhm.
but, but no, I wanted to ask you, how long have you been out, or did you make an official declaration, or was it something that as an athlete in terms of your public, persona?
I would say that like I have never, not never, but haven't really like hid my sexuality for a long time. It just wasn't really until like 2021 after I skated the world champs during like the COVID, we had a COVID bubble in the Netherlands
Right.
that and Team USA I think named me as like one of the 7 potential first time Olympians to watch going into 2022.
Wow.
That people started to like take notice and started asking me questions about it. And then like when Outsports reached out and was like, "Would you like to do like a story on this?" I was like, "Sure." I've never really hit it, so I'm like happy to chat about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, this was the piece this must have been the piece that I read. This came out relatively recently, right?
No,
Or this back in
this was back in
2021?
2021.
Got it.
Yeah, they've written a few pieces
Yeah.
about me over the years.
It's
But yeah,
it's
that the first one is from back then.
It's crazy. I feel like I read there are approximately, like, 41 out athletes at the Olympics this year. It's crazy how I was gonna ask you about this later, but heated rivalry, of course. Uh, it's crazy. I remember, like, watching the 2014 Olympics. Obviously, it was in Russia, and so there were all sorts of other issues that were, unique to that, but just in, like, a 10-year period, the amount of change that's happened from, 2014 when Gus Kenworthy felt like he couldn't be out to now. I mean, what does it feel like to be part of this new vanguard of, athletes that are really, changing the game?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, yeah, I think in 2014 there were like 6 or 7
Right,
total.
yeah.
Um, so it's incredible to see the progress. And I mean, I've obviously spoken to a lot of the other out athletes,
Is there,
and
like weird question, but is there like a is that just literally through, like, social media, or through, like, Pride House, or is there a entity or a group that's, like, supporting you guys in terms of connecting you, or
mostly social media. And then I train one of my teammates is also out.
Oh,
She's
wow.
dating Hillary Knight, Brittany Bowe, and
Oh,
she's dating
yeah.
Hillary Knight to captain the hockey team.
Wow.
So I've also just kind of gotten some people I've met and talked to Gus. I talked to Gus
Right,
online before I met him
right,
and stuff. So like I got connected to a bunch of people.
yeah.
But yeah, it's incredible just to hear, especially like I know the women's hockey team. Up until a few years ago, there were like no out people, and now I think they make up like 5 or 6 of the 8 U.S. athletes.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, I mean, it's just like one person. Once the first person was able or felt comfortable coming out, it kind of was just like a waterfall event or watershed event, and
Is there one athlete in particular, like, was there one person who like, I know for me in, like, politics or stuff, I have people that I followed who I kinda wanted to emulate or that I was inspired by. Like, is there one particular athlete, not necessarily a skater, but, like, someone whose career or profile that you've tried to or you either looked up to or tried to emulate?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like 2 people. I mean, I have my teammate Brittany, who is incredible. We're, like, really good friends, and I just admire her, uh, tenacity in the sport, and she's just, like, an absolute
Mhm.
powerhouse. One of the
Yeah.
best skaters to do it ever. And then
Is she you guys I know you're not supposed to ask a lady's age, but, like, is she around your age? Is she older than you, or
no, she's older than me. She's, like, about a decade
she's
older than me.
around
That's
she's
the good thing about Olympic sports is all of our
right.
ages are publicized,
Yep.
so it's fine.
Yeah,
But
well, I
yeah,
thought I
she's
could ask
about a
you. I thought
decade
I
older
could
than
ask
me.
you if she but, oh, that's really cool. So not only do you have someone who, whose career, you can, look to, but also someone you have a personal relationship with too.
Yeah, and I would say the other person would be Gus, because I mean,
Yeah.
I was, like, early 20 the 2014 Olympics was, like, early and I guess he came out in 2015, but, like, that period of my life was always, like, very formative for me.
Right.
I didn't really come out to anyone until, like, I think 2015 or 2016-ish, so, like,
Mm.
right around the same time.
Wow.
Um, and yeah, at that time, like, there were really not that many out athletes in
Yeah.
any sport.
Right.
So it's also been incredible just to, like, chat with him over the years as someone that, like,
Yeah.
I just look up to, especially, like, with his advocacy,
Yeah.
and it's something that, like, I also try to emulate.
Well, how does that feel? Like, not in a political sense necessarily, but just in terms of, being out and being authentic to who you are. Do you feel a sense of not responsibility, but a sense of representing more than just yourself there in Milan, or how do you feel a weight? Not to say that you should, but I'd say it seems like you're obviously it's a big moment, but you're taking the moment pretty well, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I kind of use the word responsibility a lot, to describe it, especially, like, if you just look at the composition of, let's say, Team USA this year.
Mhm.
I mean, there are only 8 people out of the whole team, which is, like, I wanna say it wasn't even 10, it's not even 10%.
Right.
Um, and of those 8 people, I am the only guy on the team who is out,
Wow.
and that's obviously not
Mhm.
representative
Yeah.
of the United States or anywhere.
Right.
Um, so, yeah,
Now I
I
wonder
do
what
kind of see it a
percentage
little bit.
of the of the 41 athletes, how many of those athletes are men?
I don't know,
Probably
I'm sure on the, like, I think Outsports has, like, LGBT
yeah,
athlete, like,
right.
database. I'm sure,
Yeah.
like, there's a way to look that up, but I don't off the top of my head. But, yeah, I mean, as I was saying, like, I do kind of view it as a responsibility. I think that, like, as you saw, like, especially with, like, the women's hockey team, one person
Mhm.
being, open can inspire other people to feel comfortable being open about themselves, and statistically, there have to be more, like, queer
Right.
athletes on the team, and if
Yeah.
there are not, uh, that's another, like, systemic issue that needs to be addressed. Either people either are not comfortable coming out, or they're not making it to this
Mhm.
level in sport, and it's not because of ability. I mean, queer athletes
Yeah.
tend to do quite well at the Olympics,
Mhm.
but it's probably, like, a cultural thing that needs to be addressed,
Do you
especially on the men's
feel
side.
do you feel like your bravery and your courage and having been out for, like you said, what, 10 years almost since you first, came out, do you feel that there's a correlation between your courage and your willingness to sort of be authentic and your ability in sports, or do you feel like one has affected the other?
Um, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even
In general, you seem like
describe.
someone who's you're not afraid. You're willing to go for it, you know? Yeah.
Absolutely. I would say I am not quiet about most things. I'm pretty, vocal about a lot of stuff. But, yeah, I don't even, like, necessarily call it, like, I guess courage, but, like, I wouldn't really call it that. But I do think that it has played a role in my career. There's a Canadian, or not ex-speed skater, always an Olympian, always a speed skater, but, retired Canadian Olympic speed skater, and she has talked about like she's competed in some games before she was out and then some after.
Mhm.
And she talks about how like winning gold, she realized that like winning gold was not enough to
Yeah.
make her feel good about herself when she was in the closet. And I think that that's kind of like sums it all up. Like it almost wasn't even, I wouldn't even call it courage because I feel like I would not be able to perform at the level that I can if I
Right,
were not out. Because I feel like there'd just be so much else on my mind and so much weighing on me
right.
is just not conducive to performance.
I think fearlessness is the right word. I mean, not only to be out and to now be a prominent or visible person, representing more than just you as an individual athlete, but also just fearlessness to pursue and to succeed at such a big dream in a competitive field. It's admirable. I wish I had your guts, seriously. Uh, but, sort of related to that, to the issue, to the question of being out. Of course, I have to ask, what was your reaction to Heated Rivalry? Did you watched it?
Oh yeah, I watched it. I watched it a couple times.
Well, there have been one or two people where I'll assume that they've watched it, and they're like, "Wait, no, I haven't seen it yet." So I didn't wanna make too many assumptions, but I figured.
That is fair. Anyone who has not watched it, I immediately told them they need to go watch it.
It must have been surreal given the the fact that it's really not just really the athletes, but being at the Winter Olympics and all that, and knowing that you were going to be going to Milan 2 months after the show came out. Does it feel more personal to you in a way, the show, probably in a way
A
that's different than most people?
little bit, but also like not that much because it's just like for me, it's not that relatable.
Right, right.
I wish like that's the dream. That was the dream. But yeah, in addition to being the only out man on Team USA, I am also the only out man in speed skating.
Yeah.
Um, who like I think possibly maybe ever competed at the Olympics, but
Wow.
don't quote me on that. I would have to fact check that with somebody.
You
Um,
probably know if there were. I mean,
I
it's
know of male speed skating Olympians who have come out after
mhm,
their careers were over. I don't know of any other ones that were out while they were competing.
right.
Um, and yeah, even now, I'm the only out man on like the World Cup circuit as well. So yeah, I mean, I wish Heater Rivalry was relatable.
Well, even
'Cause
putting, like, the teammates, secret romance thing aside, I just mean,
yeah.
like, you know, being at the Winter Olympics must be such
Mhm.
a or it is such a I mean, very few people in the history of the planet have ever had that experience, so I just could just knowing what it's like to be a athlete performing under pressure, I mean, did you like the show? What was your takeaway?
Oh, I mean, I love the show. I wasn't quite sure after the first
Yeah.
2 episodes because everyone was, like, raving about
Right,
it.
like, see, episode 3 for me anyway was when things started getting like I was like, "Okay, this is good."
Yeah. Episode 3 was the turning point for me because yeah, the first episodes, I think I started this show right when episode 2 came out.
Mhm.
So I watched the first 2 back to back. And I was like, "Okay, like, it's hot." It's like I'm like, "It's hot, but it's, like, not that deep. It's like a smutty show."
Right.
But I'm like, "Okay, I mean, like, I'm on board for that as well."
Yeah.
And I
Me
never read the
too.
book, so I didn't know where it was going either.
Right.
And people have read the books. After the show, I think by, like, episode 5, I was like, "Wait, the show's actually so good."
No.
The show, like, the structure of the show mirrors their relationship,
Yep.
where, like, at first, it is all just, like,
Getting
physical,
deep.
and
Right.
so it's just hockey and them, like, having sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then as, like, their relationship evolves, the show structure evolves.
It
And so, like
deepens, you get more intimate and more like, more,
yeah, you get more, like, plot
more complicated. Yeah.
and insight into their lives and, like, psyche. But and so, like, I, like, messaged my friend after, like, episode 5, and I was like, "Oh my god, I think the show is mirroring
Yeah.
their relationship." And he was like, "Yeah, duh, babe." Like, of course, that's what's going on. That's what it was in the books. I'm like, "I didn't read the books, so I didn't know
I
this."
know, I didn't even know what the book I had no idea I didn't even know there were books, you know? It's just
Same.
crazy how quickly this thing has taken over, you know?
Yeah, but yeah, for me, episode 3 was like a turning point. So I was like, "Oh, this show's like this episode's amazing." I was like, "Where was this in episode
Well,
1 and 2?"
you haven't been in Milan long enough where, like, because I know Connor Story and, Hudson Williams were there for the torch-bearing. Were you in Milan for that, or were you still in Germany?
No, I was still in Germany, and I don't think they were in Milan yet because the torch relay is, like,
Oh, they were
so
in
long.
Oh, okay, so they were like but I assume but they're not doing the whole thing, are they?
No, no,
They
no. Like, it's like an hon people get, like,
they were
asked
like
it's
they
like
were
an
just there
honor to get
for
asked to be part of the relay.
wow.
So, I think they did, like, one segment of it,
Right, right.
but I don't
It's
think they were here
crazy how
yet.
even they've even managed to, like, permeate that, I mean, where, like, now
Yeah.
there's literally the Olympics are now I guess it's a sign of how far we've come, that a
Mhm.
show like that is actually like, literally the Olympics are now, bringing heated rivalry into their sphere.
Well,
Do
I heard
I
Team
know you
Canada is gonna release
yeah,
a version of Hudson Williams, like, Team Canada jacket from
I
the
saw
Olympics
that.
episode.
It's incredible.
Might need
I
to
mean,
get my hands on one of those.
yeah, I think you deserve it. I think out of everybody, you'd be the one to get one. I mean, come on. Um, yeah, I mean, just on a final note, I mean, I know you've been, each sport is different in terms of the culture around it, and in terms of, depending on the sport. Obviously, there are certain sports that are more welcoming to LGBT people. But what do you think about the state in terms of you hear a lot of more like sports like the or football and the NFL and all that, but in general, what do you think about not just the state of our culture when it comes to sports and and being queer, but also in the context of masculinity and a lot of these sort of cultural conversations we're having right now? I mean, obviously things are better, but like both in terms of your personal day-to-day experience, but in general, like what are your feelings about not just queerness in sports, but also masculinity and sort of those cultural issues in general?
I think we're making progress, but yeah, kinda like harking back to what I said earlier, the huge disparity of
Yeah.
participants, there's still, like, a lot of progress left to be made.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think we're making a lot of progress. I think some sports are developing faster than others. Hopefully heated rivalry will, like,
Yeah.
accelerate hockey, but, like, I
Yep.
know hockey is, like, the NHL is, like, the only professional sports league that has
Yeah.
0 out players, like, ever.
Right. Yeah.
Um, and we got to, like, know a few of the Utah, uh, now the Mammoth Utah Hockey Club, the new NHL team in Utah,
Right.
where I've live and train. Um, and, like, yeah, it just, like I mean, they're super nice people, but, yeah, they've talked about how it's, like, it would just not, like, happen that someone would come out. Like, it's just, like, the
Yeah.
culture of hockey is just not conducive to that.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of
and that,
ironic
like
that I'm sure hopefully it'll happen soon, but it's ironic that on the show they're portraying this moment with Scott Hunter and his boyfriend that supposedly when I think the show that episode's based in 2017. Here we are 9 years later and it still actually hasn't happened in that particular sport,
yeah. Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
So it's kind of ironic, I guess. But in general, I think you're right. Sports in general seems to be moving. And thanks, honestly, I know I've been heaping praise, but it's all sincere. Like I think literally like this year, just like in 2018, that was a watershed moment for representation at the Olympics. I think this moment is going to be a really important moment for our community culturally. And I'm beyond grateful to you for taking the time. And like, congratulations. I'm so even though we just met, I'm just beyond, proud of you and grateful for your representation, and, are you feeling nervous, or are you feeling, like, excited? Like, as someone who has no athletic ability whatsoever, who could only dream of, like what is that knowing that you're gonna be competing in, what, a week? Like, where are
Mhm.
you at, in your what's your vibe right now?
Um, I would say I'm more excited than anything. I mean, I love racing, I love competing, that's, like it would be hard to do this if you didn't.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
but yeah, I'm more excited than anything. Like I live for the adrenaline of like race day, and it's really hard to like be that any other time.
Right.
Um, so yeah, more than anything, I'm really excited, and like I don't know, I may be unique in the sense that I get far more anxious for like domestic qualification comps. Like Olympic trials, I was shaking in my boots before the 1,000, and that's true like for our like domestic World Cup trials, which I'm like I've never missed one, but like I still get like so anxious for it. But then like yeah, go to World Cups, World Champs like that. I'm chill.
Well, I mean,
So I'm
I
excited.
I assume partially because once you've gotten to the Olympics or whatever, that you can do it. Like you're like,
Mhm.
I got this. But when
Yeah.
you're qualifying, that's still there's sort of an open question as to whether all the, prep that you've done and training. I can understand that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's an ego thing, like, or if it's a sense of belonging. It's like once you qualify, you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I belong here.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I get way more nervous for domestic competitions than I do for international competitions.
What's your last question? But what is like the next 6 days or 7 days till what date is your competition?
The 1,000 will be on the 11th, and
Love it.
that
Got it.
I like back up for a couple other events, so I still have to like be
Right.
prepared.
Yeah.
But yeah, my main day is the 11th.
Wow. And so in the meantime, are you resting? Are you training every day? What's your schedule like?
A lot of training. We do like a practice race tomorrow, actually.
Wow.
Tomorrow afternoon,
Wow.
and so yeah, like a lot of practice. We'll get some rest in there, but for now, we're far enough out that it's
Yeah,
still
you got
grind time.
about what, yeah, 11 days. 11 days.
Hmm.
Well, seriously, Connor, thank you so much. This has been awesome. And I cannot, I'm not to jinx it, but I have high hopes. I think you're gonna do great. And again, thank you for all you're doing for our community. And you're amazing. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me today on Duke's Download. This podcast is part of Pride House Media, hosted by me, Duke Mason, and produced and edited by Josh Rosenzweig. Original music composed by Nell Balaban. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And while you're there, leave us a rating and review. It really helps others to discover the show. I'd love to stay connected with you, so join the conversation by following me at James Duke Mason on Instagram and X, or by emailing me at questions@dukesdownload.com.